We talk a lot about preparedness on this channel. We talk about being ready for anything. Well, you know what's coming down the pipeline, right? Tariffs, man. These tariffs, especially the ones on goods coming from China, are going to hit us where it hurts, our wallets, especially when it comes to the food we put on our tables. We're talking about a whole new ballgame when it comes to food prices. And I'm not talking about a small jump, I'm talking about a serious increase in the cost of groceries. That's why today, we're talking about taking action, about getting prepared before it's too late. Foods that are heavily imported from China, foods that we rely on, foods that could become a lot more expensive or even disappear from our shelves. So, let's talk about fish. We all love a good fish dinner, right? But let me tell you, a huge percentage of the fish we eat, especially tilapia, comes straight from China. And I'm not talking about some fancy high-end tilapia. I'm talking about the tilapia you find in your local grocery store, the tilapia that's in your fish sticks, the tilapia that's in a lot of the processed foods we eat. Now here's the thing about Chinese tilapia. It's often raised in these massive fish farms, and the conditions in these farms, let's just say they're not exactly what you'd call pristine. We're talking about crowded conditions, questionable water quality, and the potential for contamination. And then there's the issue of antibiotics. See, in these crowded fish farms, disease can spread like wildfire. So they pump these fish full of antibiotics to keep them healthy, to keep them alive long enough to make it to your plate. But here's the kicker. Those antibiotics, they don't just magically disappear. They can end up in our food, in our water, and ultimately in us. Let's talk about another fish we love, cod. Good old-fashioned cod. Fish and chips, anyone? But here's the thing. A lot of that cod, a significant portion of it, is coming from, you guessed it, China. And just like with tilapia, there are some serious questions about the quality and sustainability of Chinese cod. But here's another layer to this whole cod conundrum, mislabeling. See, there have been numerous reports, studies, investigations, you name it, all pointing to the same problem, fish being mislabeled. That cod you're buying? It might not be cod at all. It could be a cheaper, less desirable fish that's being passed off as cod. And guess what? A lot of this mislabeling can be traced back to, you guessed it, China. It's a shady practice, and it's happening on a massive scale. So, not only are we potentially getting fish that's been raised in questionable conditions, but we might not even be getting the fish we're paying for. It's a bait and switch, folks. Mushrooms, man. They're everywhere these days. Pizzas, salads, you name it. They're delicious, versatile, and supposedly good for you. But here's the kicker. A whopping 43% of the mushrooms we consume in this country are imported from China. Now, I'm not here to demonize all Chinese mushrooms, but I am here to tell you that there are some legitimate concerns about the growing practices and potential contamination of some of these imported mushrooms. We're talking about things like pesticide residues, heavy metals, and even radioactive isotopes. So what's the solution? We need to start asking questions, reading labels, and supporting local growers whenever possible. Chapter 4. Garlic, the stinking truth about imports. Garlic, man. It's the foundation of so many delicious dishes. It's got that pungent aroma, that unmistakable flavor. But what you might not know is that a significant chunk of the garlic we consume, around 23%, is imported from China. And just like with mushrooms, there are some serious questions about the quality and safety of some of this imported garlic. We're talking about concerns over pesticide residues, heavy metals, and even the use of forced labor in some garlic farms overseas. These are serious issues, folks. We can choose to support ethical, sustainable farming practices by buying local, organic garlic whenever possible. Chapter 5. Apple juice. A not-so-sweet truth. Apple juice. It's the quintessential American beverage, right? Well, here's a shocker. A staggering 70% of the apple juice consumed in the United States is made with imported apple juice concentrate. And where does a lot of that concentrate come from? You guessed it, China. There have been concerns about pesticide residues, heavy metals, and even arsenic in some imported apple juice concentrate. And here's the kicker: apple juice is often marketed towards kids. But if that apple juice is contaminated with harmful substances, it's not exactly the healthy choice we thought it was. So what can you do? Read labels, look for organic and locally sourced apple juice whenever possible, and consider making your own apple juice at home using fresh organic apples. Chapter 6. Tea Time. Steeping in Uncertainty. Tea. It's the most consumed beverage in the world after water, and China is the world's largest producer of tea, so it's no surprise that a significant portion of the tea we drink here in the United States is imported from China. But just like with many other imported foods, there are some legitimate concerns about the quality and safety of some Chinese tea. We're talking about issues like pesticide residues, heavy metals, and even the use of artificial dyes and flavors in some teas. So what can you do? Look for tea that's certified organic, fair trade, or sourced from other countries with stricter regulations. Chapter 7. Spice Things Up. The importance of stockpiling. Spices, man. They're the secret ingredient that can elevate any dish from bland to bam. But what you might not realize is that a significant portion of the spices we use in our kitchens come from China. We're talking about everything from cinnamon and ginger to star anise and cloves. Just like with other imported foods, there have been concerns about pesticide residues, heavy metals, and even the use of fillers and adulterants in some Chinese spices. So what can you do? Stock up on your favorite spices now, while they're still readily available and relatively affordable. Look for spices that are certified organic, fair trade, or sourced from other countries with stricter regulations. And as always, read labels, do your research, and make informed choices. Chapter 8. Vitamin C, the China Connection. Vitamin C. It's essential for immune function, wound healing, and overall health. And guess what? A whopping 90% of the vitamin C supplements sold in the United States are made with ascorbic acid that's sourced from China. There have been concerns about the quality control and environmental impact of some Chinese vitamin C production. So, what can you do? Look for vitamin C supplements that are made with ascorbic acid that's sourced from other countries, or consider getting your vitamin C from whole food sources like citrus fruits, berries, and leafy green vegetables. Chapter 9. Bell peppers, your vitamin C powerhouse. Now, we've talked about the potential problems with imported vitamin C supplements. But here's the good news. There are plenty of delicious and nutritious ways to get your vitamin C from whole food sources. And one of the best sources is right in your local produce aisle: bell peppers. In fact, one medium-sized bell pepper contains more than the recommended daily intake of vitamin C. And here's the best part. Bell peppers are incredibly versatile. Chapter 10. Strawberries, a sweet source of vitamin C. Another fantastic source of vitamin C, strawberries. These juicy red berries are not only delicious but also bursting with nutrients, including vitamin C. In fact, just 1 cup of strawberries provides over 100% of your daily vitamin C needs. And the best part is that strawberries are incredibly versatile. You can enjoy them fresh, frozen, in smoothies, on top of yogurt, or baked into your favorite desserts. Look, I'm not trying to fearmonger here, I'm just trying to give you the facts. The reality is that tariffs are coming, and they're going to have a real impact on our wallets, especially when it comes to food. But here's the good news. We can prepare. We can take steps now to mitigate the impact of these tariffs and ensure that we have access to the foods we need. Stockpiling might seem like something out of a doomsday prepper movie, but it's just common sense. It's about being prepared, not scared. And it's about supporting American businesses and American workers. So, take a look at the list of foods we've discussed today. Let's be smart, let's be prepared, and let's make sure we're taking care of ourselves and our loved ones. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm glad you're here, and we'll see you next time.